Okay, there's a lady I wanted to get on tonight. She, her name is Luann or Gwyneth, I'm not sure. She was trying to get her 2 boys back, and she was held in contempt of court. And this is what I was trying to show people, how to avoid being held in contempt of court all the time, you know, because you say what you have to say and then you shut up. And there's nothing else to do. You just let them do whatever they're going to do. Who cares? It's like when me and Jimmy went to court of foreclosure. Jimmy's got a great case because the bank said they were the highest bidder at the auction, and there was about 9 people at the auction, and all, you know, we all came. Oh, you were there, Gus?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, you were at the auction. So none of us came together as a crew. You know, it's like 9 witnesses. It was like, no, you know, 3 people came by, you know, then 2 people came, you know, then you and me, you know, Jim was there. That's our 3, you know. So we didn't come there as like 9 witnesses. So Jimmy actually has impartial witnesses to prove that the bank was not at the auction. When the bank did that once before in that county, they said they were the highest bidder at the auction, and they actually got in trouble for, you know, actually, you know, making a false statement that they were the highest bidder at an auction. They were nowhere near the auction. And then the attorney who prepares the case for the county recorder's office to transfer deed and transfer the title over, they got in trouble as well because they said, you know, that based upon the testimony of the bank's representative, the bank was the high bidder at the auction. Obviously, that was false. So Jimmy had a great case. It was like, wow, this is a great case. I believe Jimmy's house was sold, or is in the process of being sold last week. So I told Jimmy, I said, we're going to wait for your house to actually be sold so that way we could actually show a loss. Because if they just say, oh, it's just a clerical error, you could have your house back. All that's going to happen, Jimmy, is the bank's going to pursue you again. And this time they're going to show up at the auction. And this time they're going to bid. And this time you're really going to lose your house. So I said, you got to wait for them to actually transfer the deed and transfer the title over to some other man. Because all they're going to do is like, oh, here's a clerical error. Oh, we thought that house is the one we bid on. Oh, like, it's a terrible mistake. Oh, we're so bad. I'm sorry about that. Oh, no, Jimmy can move right back in. You know, the house has been sitting empty for like 6 months now, a year. So, since last January. So, yeah, that's if you really want to move in a house that's been sitting, you know, like dead like that for a year. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I said, no, Jim, we got to play it all the way out. We got to play it all out where we could actually show damage. And then once you give it to another family, you can't get it back because then you're going to hurt the other family. And it just makes a hell of a mess, you know, when you try to kick one family out because you said he was a high bidder and obviously you weren't. And then another family moves in believing that they have something free and clear, which obviously they don't. It just makes it a hell of a mess. You know, once you let it get to this stage, you know, I guarantee the courts and, you know, he's like, well, why didn't you just tell us sooner? Why didn't you just tell us sooner? If you knew the bank wasn't there, why didn't you just tell us sooner? It's like, yeah, because you would have just said it's a clerical error, like, you know, like under Rule 60B, under Rule 60A, like in the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. It's just they're going to say it's a clerical error. No harm, no foul. You know, oops, the clerk was only making $5 an hour. The clerk was a new girl. Oops, the girl didn't know. Oops, you know, it was just a mistake. You know, so we'll get out the old eraser and we'll just erase that they weren't the highest bidder, and we'll say that you know, nobody was the high bidder. The minimum bid wasn't bid on. The minimum amount wasn't bid on. So no, we'll just go back to having another auction, and then the next time the bank's actually going to show up with a representative and say, okay, we bid, you know, $10 trillion on that house, and there you go. They don't care because they're paying themselves. They don't care. They don't care what the bid is because, you know, they got the note as far as they're concerned, and they're just bidding to get the note. It's just ridiculous. So he said he went by the other day. He saw a sign that said the house is being, like, closed. Like they were going for closing. So I said, that's good, Jim. I said, so as soon as they move in for closing, I said, then we'll make our claim that the bank committed fraud by claiming that they were the high bidder at the auction when they clearly weren't at the auction, and we could bring witnesses and approve it. And due to their fraud, you know, you were displaced. So then we'll collect that way. But see, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it takes a while, and a lot of people are like, oh no, I don't want to lose my house. I don't get thrown out. It's like, look, if you don't play it all the way through, the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to have another auction in 2-3 months, and then you're really going to get kicked out. So what do you want? Do you want to get kicked out? Have to wait, you know, 6 months a year for somebody to buy a house, and then go make the claim? Or do you want to just live there for another 3 months and then get kicked out permanently and can't make a claim of fraud? So this is a hell of a good case of fraud because they saw, that it was true. They have on a court document. So like, oh my God, that's incredible. And that's the only question I asked. Well, I asked 2 questions at the hearing. The first one I said is, can I be sworn in, under oath or affirmation, so you can record this testimony that a man came before this court to testify what he knew was true? And the judge said, absolutely not. I said, oh, so we're not taking testimony today? He says, no, we're not taking testimony from anybody. So I said, oh, we're in D.C. Freer's court? He said, yep. I said, a court of record is downstairs? He said, yep. I said, okay, there's nothing further for me to say today other than asking this attorney one question. Are you saying that the bank of Wells Fargo, the bank, was the high bidder at the auction at number 7, line number 7? He said, yes. I said, okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you. And I said to Jimmy, now it's a waiting game. You don't jump up and down and cry. You don't bother arguing. You don't bother saying, I'm a man, and who's the man that's going to make a claim? Nope. Jimmy, you want to make some money? Yeah. If you're shut up, sit down, and let the process run through. Just let it happen, because you ain't going to make no money. If you jump up and say, who's the man that's making a claim? There was no man at the auction, blah, blah, blah. They're just going to move with their legal process anyway. It's not a damn thing. You can stop a legal process. Now, you got to make up your own process, a law process. You got to proceed on the law. But if you're going to proceed legally, they're just going to run you over anyway. So just let them do whatever they want to do in their legal world. Kid. As soon as they come across the border, as soon as they come across that threshold and enter into harming a man or damage to a man by committing fraud in their world, well, then you got to hold them liable in our world. So you got to wait. It's a waiting game. And everybody's like, oh, I want to make money now. I want to sue somebody now. I want revenge now. I said, that's not how the game works. That's not how you build a mousetrap, man. You got to wait for the mouse. You can't just be sitting at the mousetrap saying, where's the mouse? Where's the mouse? Like, back away from the mousetrap. What? Back away. Just back away. Let it do its thing. Just back away. Oh, but I want the mouse now. Yeah. Well, look, I put the cheese, just like you said, Carl. I put the trap there. Oh, Carl, where's the mouse going to step into it? I said, it takes time. Just step back. Go find something else to do for a while. It takes time to set it up. Oh, no, Carl, I want it now. I was like, oh, Jesus, we can shut up. Just let the process work. So like I said, me and Jimmy were waiting for somebody to actually step into that house and believe that they're the rightful owners. And based upon, legal court documents. Then I could tell the judge, too. I mean, I don't know if I could hold the man who's acting as a judge liable, but I'll tell him. I'll write him a nice little letter. I said, I don't know if you're liable or not. I want to find out if you are, but I gave you fair warning. The bank did not appear. They were not there at the auction, and they were committing fraud in your court, and you allowed it to continue anyway. And due to your tolerance, it looks like you conspired with the bank attorney to allow it to happen. So it should be really interesting. So, like I said, that's the way I like doing things like that. But like I said, everything's different. Other people might not have the same situation Jimmy had, where the bank said that they were the highest bidder at the auction. Now, some people might say, oh, good call, I'm just going to let them foreclose on me, and then I'm going to turn around and assume and say it was based on fraud. Yeah, well, okay, based on what fraud? What did they knowingly do? Is it in writing? Or is it one of you guys just crazy beliefs like, well, money isn't real, and they took my signature, and they, manipulated the economy, and this is all based on fraud? And I was like, yeah. Can you prove any of that? Well, I saw it on a YouTube video. Yeah, well. I read it on Wikipedia. Yeah, well. Yeah. Do you have any names of anybody that actually did it? Well, no. Can you actually bring that man forward into the court? The lawyer who worked for the bank, you better believe I got his name. You better believe we summoned him to appear at this court. My court. Well, Jimmy's court. But all this crazy conspiracy nonsense, saying, oh, the mortgage companies, the banks, they've been doing this for years, blah, blah, blah. It's all fake money. Yeah, so what? It's all fake money, whatever. Who cares? Can you prove it? Can you prove that Howard Rothstein and Bernie Coleman and, Alan Schwartz, they're all manipulating the mortgage market and, some family named the Rothschilds is behind it all? Yeah, great. Can you prove it? No, then keep your damn opinion to yourself. Waste my time. It's nice speculation. It's nice theory. But you know what? I don't care. If you can prove it, fine. If you can't prove it, go find out, go do the research, and come back and tell me. Say, go, this is how it works. We got the documents, we got the court papers, we got the signatures, just like I do for Jimmy and his mortgage. I got the court documents. I got the signatures from the attorneys. I got the attorney swearing, that it was true on a piece of paper. Oh, good. And now I got the county recorder's office, their paperwork, saying that the bank said it was true. Oh, good. So they even swore before to the county recorder. Yeah, oh, good. That's fantastic. And I'll be able to prove it. There's no way in the world they were there. They didn't show up. How are they going to answer that claim?
It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough. But like I said, with Jimmy, and like I said, I ain't going for $1 billion. Just going to go for what his home was worth, or whatever it was, $60,000, $80,000, whatever it was. And they're just going to tell the Commonwealth of Virginia to sanction Wells Fargo that they're not allowed to foreclose on any more homes in the Commonwealth because people get caught. I'm sure this was not the first time they lied out in court. First time they lied on paper. I'm sure there's many times, but I know never had the care, the expense, the time to go back and check every damn record that ever occurred. From now on, they're just not allowed to, bid at auction in the Commonwealth. That's all. And just make it that simple. And I'm sure that when, a story like that breaks out that they commit fraud on, on a wife and, kids and all this other stuff, boy, they're going to look ridiculous that they got to do this to these, especially if a picture of Jimmy's family in the paper or something like that. That'd be really funny. Yes. To take down these guys, they're going to be the poster child, for this kind of stuff.